So hello everyone, welcome to History Optional lecture. Basically, I am starting with the topic directly in the next coming lectures. I will be uploading the introductory part, the syllabus breakdown part. But now I am going to discuss about an important topic about history and with respect to the history optional. So what is history? Guys, please comment your opinion. What is history? And then pause the video, comment, and then resume the video and check that your opinion how much match with my opinion. So history, as we know, who Herodotus often called as the father of history, right? And he is nearly somewhere 5th century BC, Herodotus. Another important notice, please simultaneously write with me so that you have a conducive note for revising all the things during the exam. So Herodotus of the 5th century BC. Right. So now, who is Herodotus? What is his relation to the history? Let me tell about this. You know the Persian and Greek invasion to India, like Cyrus, Darius I. We are going to discuss them in our further lectures. But remember this: the Persian Greek invasion, specifically during the reign of Darius I. Herodotus mentioned about India. So now Herodotus, that is the thing, like history is the conflict between, according to him, the Persian Greek invasion. Herodotus mentioned that it is the conflict between the democracy and dictatorship. So but if we talk about Plutarch, another historian, Plutarch, that is also Greek historian. He sometime like his timeline between 1st century AD to 2nd century AD, nearly that timeline. So if we talk about Plutarch, he tell us about history, that history is the study of some great individuals. So kindly pardon my handwriting because I don't have the pen to write, so I have to write with the fingers. So please pardon me and be adjust with me. I hope it is readable. Also simultaneously going with my voice, you can write the things clearly and read the things clearly. So let us continue with our lectures. Who are the great individuals? The great individuals are Alexander, Ashoka, and many more are there, Akbar, etc. If we talk about Indian history as such. So if we talk about the history, according to Plutarch, if it is the study of some great individual, it is showing the top to down approach. Like first the top, some individual appear, some rulers, some great rulers, and then comes the masses, that is the individuals. Right? It is the top down approach. So this approach of Plutarch is called top down approach to study the history. So what this thing do to the history? This thing completely ignores the circumstances, because reading history does not mean about the great rulers, just some individuals, but it is the situation. It is how the society at that point of time, how the economy at that point of time, which lead to the decision of that particular ruler. That is the important to understand the history. Let me give an example to you. During the Vedic period, the Brahmanism get patronization on the Mahajanpada period. Then some flaws appeared in Brahmanism which haunt the society in many dimensions. So what happened? Alternative sects like Buddhism, Jainism appeared in the society, and they are started dominating, and rulers now patronizing them, like Ashoka patronizing Buddhism. So this is to understand what is the reason behind the decisions, behind the circumstances at that particular point of time. So because if we talk about great rulers, like just let me give an example. Some things happened. Let me tell you that Akbar fought with the Indian rulers and get the Indian territory into his control. Like some of you tell it is the divine plan, ये तो अकबर का भाग्य में लिखा था. तो वहाँ पर ना हिस्ट्री डेड हो जाता है. It is the negative change in history writing. So don't like put like ये भाग्य में था तो ये हो गया. We have to understand what is the situation which led to that particular event. That is about history. So I hope this is make you clear about the history. Now coming to the definition of history, because this is really important to understand what is the definition of history. Please comment what is the definition of history, and let me check what are you guys commenting about the history. See, some of you maybe comment history is the study of past, right? So are we studying about dinosaurs now in the history? No, na. So some of you tell that history is the study of past. Then maybe we are studying the history of dogs, history of cats, and some of you tell that history is the study of human, right? So are there any history written on you? Let me give some person is Ram. History of Ram are we studying? No. What were you studying? History. In history we were studying the important events happened in the society. Now it is really debatable that what is important, what is not important. That is the work of historians, right? Now, but how can we decide which events are there? Should be some parameters to decide which events are important, which events are not important, which process is important, because history is not about only events. History is about process. Let me give an example. While you are talking about status of women in the society, now status of women is in the society is gradually degrading and gradually upgrading in the society. Then it is a process, right? So history not only study about the events, it is also study about the process. Now let me define parameters which determine the importance how to write history. So we have to understand the political dimension of the society. We have to understand the economic dimension of the society. Also we have to understand the religious dimension in society. Also we have to understand the cultural dimension in the society. And these events in the society, they are very dynamic, means that is majorly changing in nature. Sometimes a strong ruler is there, sometimes a weak ruler is there, sometimes the political ruler has more legitimacy like Ashoka, sometimes the political ruler has less legitimacy, sometimes the coup happens like Brihadra, the last Mauryan ruler, killed by his own senapati known as Pushyamitra Shunga. So these are the things that always changing. So changes, the first there are some small clan form there, after that point of time some tribal chiefdom society form, then state formation. We will be talking that in details about this, so don't worry this. So now if we're talking about history, it is always changing. Sometimes it is a gradual process of changing. That is I told you that the process is very important for history as such. So let me give another example to you. If we're talking about history of religion, is not it a process? We will be studying detail on it. You will be getting a clear broader picture of the religion from the IBC, in Indus Valley civilization, that is the Harappan civilization, to the Gupta period. Let me give an in our ancient, in between our ancient. So what do you see in Harappa religion? There are, you can say, majorly that is the theory of historians that some religions are mother goddess figures, but though that is debatable. Some of the fire altars found, but that is fire altars are though debatable, but some form of religious structures we found. And then Brahmanism developed during the Vedic, first early Vedic, it is more consolidated slowly during later Vedic, and when the Mahajanpada period came, it became much powerful. I'm sorry, guys. There are some disturbances. Pardon me. Next, so we are talking about history of religion, talking about Harappa, how the religion transformed during the Vedic times, and how the religion transformed during the later Vedic period. Slowly, it transformed during the Mahajanpada period, and slowly, it transformed during the Mauryan period, post-Mauryan period, and lastly, the form that is Brahmanism that take from Hinduism during the Gupta period. So these things are clearly showing the importance of history to understanding the historical processes. So now there are many things like some historians told that history is about continuity and changes. Let me clear about this. What is the continuity? What is the changes? So we can say history is about continuity. There are two sentences. Understand this: continuity and changes. Continuity with respect to changes. Continuity and changes means there are some institutions which are continue as it is from the ancient period to another period, but there are some changes happened in other institutions, like new institutions formed, like other institutions transformed, some institutional changes happen. These are the things like continuity and changes. And continuity with respect to change, that is saying the process, and that process is divided, we can divide it into two types of changes. One is radical change, another is slow or gradual change. Now slow or gradual change means that is mainly how changes the society changes. Let me give an example how slowly the society changes. As you know, when the Sati Abolition Act came, 19 nearly the area of 1827, nearly right, 1827 के आसपास. But actually, if even if we see Indian context, we get last Sati case in the 1988. See the society how adapting this particular law, how slow is that particular society. That is the slow or gradual changes, showing the slow or gradual changes. Now what is the radical change? You can add another term here is revolution, but we will discussing revolution after this after some classes, and this is really important to understand the term revolution. Now what is the term about the radical change? And the radical change happened mostly in political arena. How? Let me give an example. Last ruler of Maurya, Brihadrath, he was killed by Pushyamitra Shunga, as you know. So this is a total change of the polity. The total dynasty ended and new dynasty came. This is about the radical change. So this can be termed as revolution, but it is only happened in the political manner. So coining the term of revolution is quite optimistic, I can say. Now we have to write some of the content, like some modern historians trying to define the history, right? And majorly we are now seeing the concept of E.H. Carr. See, E.H. Carr, he active during the 1970s. He defined the history like history is basically combination of two things. History is combination of two things. What are these two things? Historian and sources. I will elaborate this. Don't worry. We are coming who is historian, what is the source. Now first we have to see his theory in further way, but first see who is a historian, who is analyzing the sources and giving his interpretation regarding to that sources, to who is trying to present his idea about past events, past important events to us. He is a historian. And what is a source? Source means many important material we found, and linking that particular material or literature or inscription or any cultural significance thing we found, and linking at that particular timeline from where it was found, that is called a source, right? So now what is history? The discourse between, okay, write down with me what E.H. Carr says. Discourse between historian and sources. This is how history has been created. Okay, so this is what called this particular sentence, like there are relationship between historian and sources, and they are like interacting with each other and presenting us history. That thing is called historiography. Now you are understanding the term clearly, the what is historiography. The discourse between historian and the sources history has been created. This is called historiography. So I hope this as much as clear. On the next lecture, we will be talking about the sources, various types of sources, what is the relevance and significance of sources, etc. So thank you and for having patience to listen my lecture and with bearing my handwriting. Thank you so much.